Hi class, you should have just finished reading pages 9 through 12 in your reading book titled Awesome Ants. So before we start listening to the next two sections of your book, let's look at the photograph at the top of this page and let's read the caption. 4 ants use their antennae to communicate. So you can see how they're like touching and communicating with each other. Okay? So let's listen and think of what the main idea could be for this section.
Let's talk. Ants communicate with each other in 3 ways: touch, sound, and smell. Ants touch each other with their antennae in different ways to send different messages. They can also make noises to communicate by rubbing their legs together or on their bodies. Scientists have learned that these special noises are a call for help. The main way ants communicate is by smell.
Okay, let's look at the photograph on the top and read the caption. Leaf cutter ants carry leaves that weigh far more than the ants back to their colony. So here are all these little leaves and they're carrying them back to their colony, and the leaves are far larger than the ants are.
They release special chemicals called pheromones, which other ants can smell long after the first ant is gone. Different smells send different messages. For example, a crushed ant releases chemicals that attract other ants. Some chemicals work as an alarm to warn other ants that danger is nearby. The chemicals also make the other ants attack anything near them that is not an ant from the same colony. An ant that has found food will lay down a trail of chemicals for other ants to follow. The trail allows them to find the food and return to the colony. The more ants that follow the trail, the stronger it gets. One big happy family.
All right, before we listen to the next section, let's talk about the main idea of the section titled Let's Talk. Okay, remember the main idea is what the entire section was about. Okay, so the main idea of this section and what this section was mostly about was that ants communicate with each other using touch, sound, and smell. Okay, that's what this entire section was about. And then all of your supporting details are describing how they use touch to communicate, how they use sound to communicate, and how they use smell to communicate. Okay, good. Now we're going to read the section One Big Happy Family. Let's look at this really cool photograph. The caption reads, "This cast shows the upper part of a large ant colony. Scientists think this colony went over 12 meters, which is 39 feet, into the ground." To give you an idea of how deep 39 feet would be, a basketball goal at the normal height is 10 feet tall. So this is almost the length of 4 basketball goals if they were standing on top of each other. Okay? All right, let's listen.
One big happy family. Ant colonies, which can have millions of members, are filled with activity. Some ants build their colonies in wood, but usually colonies are built underground. They have many different rooms, which all have different uses. Some rooms store food or eggs, while others are used to care for the young. Colonies even have rooms for ants to relax in.
Okay, before she starts reading this,
Within the colony,
let's look at the picture at the top. And we have 2 different kind of ants. You have these larger ants, and they're called soldier ants. Okay, do you see the larger ones? And then there's these little smaller guys, and the smaller guys are called worker ants. So let's read our caption. Soldier ants are usually much larger than worker ants. Okay.
Every ant has a job and special skills to do that job. Worker ants and soldier ants find food and protect the nest. They are social insects and work together as a group. Worker ants are usually the ones you see above the ground. They are the older ants. Other ants build the nest, take care of the young, and do other jobs. The ants that work inside the nest tend to be younger ants. All these ants are female, but only one is allowed to lay eggs, the queen. In other words, all the ants in a colony are related. What about the boys? Male ants have only one purpose in most colonies, to mate with the queen. Once they've done their duty, most male ants simply die.
Okay, let's talk about the main
The
idea.
queen.
Let's talk
One
about
big happy family.
Sorry. Let's talk about the main idea of the section titled One Big Happy Family. Okay, so this entire section was talking about the ants' colonies. All right, so the main idea of this section is that ant colonies can have millions of members, and they are filled with activity such as rooms and jobs and other things. And then our supporting details are giving us more information about the different kinds of activities. So the colonies could be built in wood, they could be built underground, they have different rooms, and then it tells you what the different rooms are for. And then on this page, it talks about how every ant has a job to do, and then it explains the different kinds of ants and the jobs that they do. So those are all your supporting details for this section.